And welcome back to the Michael Cohen Show on our continued journey to 500,000 subscribers. So look, hit subscribe, watch, comment, keep the comments coming and share with your friends because it's this program that you're going to get the raw and unfiltered facts. Not like what you're seeing bullshit elsewhere. None of these people know Trump. They're basically stealing off this program to add to theirs. Look, today it's Monday. And once again, Monday morning, per usual, we have a lot to unpack from the weekend. I mean, let's start off strong here, right? Trump posted an AI photo of himself as the Pope. Take a look at this, right? Can you imagine? They haven't even begun the conclave yet, and Trump legitimately putting this out. It is so, I don't even know what the right word is, disgusting, disgraceful. Who does something like that? Well, Donald Trump. And yesterday, while he was on Air Force One heading back to the White House, he went on a Truth Social posting spree while also taking questions from reporters. Trump posted about reopening Alcatraz, something very important. Let me read to you. In it, he turns around and he says, rebuild and open Alcatraz. For too long, America has been plagued by vicious, violent, and repeat criminal offenders, the dregs of society who will never contribute anything other than misery and suffering. When we were a more serious nation in times past, we did not hesitate to lock up the most dangerous criminals and keep them far away from anyone they could harm. That's the way it's supposed to be. No longer will we tolerate these serial offenders who spread filth, bloodshed, and mayhem on our streets. That is why today I am directing the Bureau of Prisons, together with the Department of Justice, FBI, and Homeland Security, to reopen a substantially enlarged and rebuilt Alcatraz to house America's most ruthless and violent offenders. We will no longer be held hostage to criminals, thugs, and judges that are afraid to do their job and allow us to remove criminals who came into our country illegally. The reopening of Alcatraz will serve as a symbol of law, order, and justice. We will make America great again. You know, there's so much going on inside that one ridiculous rant. First and foremost, Alcatraz is a museum. Alcatraz is old, it's antiquated, and it will cost billions of dollars to refurbish. Instead, they have facilities. They call them supermaxes, Mr. T, all right? Supermaxes, where literally it's not above ground. It's like 1,000 feet below the ground. There is no way out. These people that are in supermax, and there are several of them, these people never see the light of day, ever. They are not wreaking havoc on our streets. They are not reoffending. And somehow or another, you have to weave it right into, again, this ridiculous mass deportation now. Alcatraz will not be used to house these illegal migrants. You've already made a deal with El Salvador to take them. This is such a confusing and ridiculous rant. I don't even know what else to possibly say. They then go on and he's asked about his statement when arriving back at the White House. It's that ridiculous. Play the clip.
Where did you get the idea for reopening Alcatraz?
Just an idea I've had, and I guess because the judges, so many of these radicalized judges, they want to have trials for every single, think of it, every single person that's in our country illegally, that came in illegally. That would mean millions of trials, and it's just so ridiculous what's happening. And it's long been a symbol, Alcatraz, of whatever it is. I mean, you know, it's a sad symbol, but it's a symbol of law and order. And, you know, it's got quite a history, frankly. Yeah. So I think we're going to do that, and we're looking at it right now.
It does have a history, and that's why it is a museum. Meanwhile, Trump also posted about putting a tariff now on movies. He is going to wreck The movie industry, in it, he turns around and he says, the movie industry in America is dying a very fast death. Not true, by the way. Other countries are offering all sorts of incentives to draw our filmmakers and studios away from the United States. Yeah, it's called tax incentives. Hollywood and many other areas within the USA are being devastated. This is a concerted effort by other nations and, therefore, a national security threat. It is, in addition to everything else, messaging and propaganda. Therefore, I am authorizing the Department of Commerce and the United States Trade Representative to immediately begin the process of instituting a 100% tariff on any and all movies coming into our country that are produced in foreign lands. We want movies made in America again. You know, there's so much wrong in that. All you need to do is provide the same tax incentives that Canada, for example. You think that they would rather go to Canada and have to build an entire set instead of using America, their streets, their buildings, etc.? They don't. It's just that you can get tax credits for these movies that help to produce and finance the movie. I mean, for a guy who's so involved in Hollywood, he really understands nothing.
The movie tariffs.
Yeah, the movie tariffs, what they've done is other nations have been stealing the movies, the movie-making capabilities from the United States. And I said to a couple of people, what do you think? I've done some very strong research over the last week. And we're making very few movies now. Hollywood is being destroyed. Now, you have an incompetent, grossly incompetent governor that allowed that to happen. So I'm not just blaming other nations, but other nations, a lot of them, have stolen our movie industry. And I'm saying, if they're not willing to make a movie inside the United States, then we should have a tariff on movies that come in. And not only that, governments are actually giving big money. I mean, they're supporting them financially. So that's sort of a threat to our country in a sense, and it's been a very popular thing.
So while on Air Force One, Trump then goes and he speaks about who he's going to appoint as head of the NSA. Play that clip.
It's, I mean, a lot of people say it really works in with what Marco's doing, but we have a lot of people. I'm going to be naming somebody, but we'll make it. I would say within 6 months. He would do the job permanently, but I think it's, it's an appropriate job.
Are you considering Stephen Miller? Are you considering Stephen Miller for that?
Stephen Miller is at the top of the totem pole. I mean, I think he sort of indirectly already has.
It's unbelievable. Stephen Miller, this maniac who couldn't get in front of Trump during the 2016-2017. It's the hatred, the vile that comes out of him that makes it really, really scary. Meanwhile, Trump also goes on and he speaks about China. Again, any chance he can get, ripping us off. And Nixon, going back now to Richard Nixon, because Trump has become a historian, creating deals with China, which he claims was the worst thing that Nixon ever did. What about Watergate, pal? Play the clip.
Fair deal. You say you want a fair deal with China. What does a fair deal look like that you want them to?
Well, I want a fair deal with China, but China's been ripping us off for many years, so maybe something should be thought about, a little bit of retribution. China's been ripping us off for many years, ever since they started. To me, I think it was the worst thing that Richard Nixon ever did.
Is there a number?
And it was Nixon, he's the one that got it started. And they've taken advantage of it.
It's truly, again, speechless. Trump also goes on and he just rails on about a Wall Street Journal reporter who, Trump hasn't been too happy either with Rupert Murdoch lately. Play that clip.
Who are you with?
The Wall Street Journal.
That's what I. Well, you people treat us so badly. Wall Street Journal has truly gone to hell. Go ahead. It's a rotten newspaper. You hear me? What I said? It's a rotten newspaper.
Are there any updates and talks with Blackburn?
I wouldn't tell the Wall Street Journal because it'd be wasting my time. There are talks, but I don't want to talk to the Wall Street Journal. But look, Wall Street Journal is China-oriented, and they're really bad for this country. Go ahead.
Wow. maybe then Fox News should stop promoting all this bullshit. Now, over the weekend, Trump was on Meet the Press, and he tried to plead the fifth when speaking about due process and the Constitution. Play that clip.
Your Secretary of State says everyone who's here, citizens and non-citizens, deserve due process. Do you agree, Mr. President?
I don't know. I'm not a lawyer. I don't know.
Well, the Fifth Amendment says
I don't know. It seems it might say that, but if you're talking about that, then we'd have to have 1 million or 2 million or 3 million trials. We have thousands of people that are some murderers and some drug dealers and some of the worst people on earth. But some of the worst, most dangerous people on earth. And I was elected to get them the hell out of here, and the courts are holding me from doing it.
But even given those numbers that you're talking about, don't you need to uphold the Constitution of the United States as president?
I don't know. I have to respond by saying again, I have brilliant lawyers that work for me, and they are going to obviously follow what the Supreme Court said. What you said is not what I heard the Supreme Court said. They have a different interpretation.
Is anyone in your administration right now in contact with El Salvador about returning Abrego Garcia to the United States?
I don't know. You'd have to ask the Attorney General that question.
Unbelievable. Meanwhile, the last topic that I want to bring up and I want to unpack for you is Trump's crypto coin. He's made like $5-6 billion on this so far. Kristen Welker asks Trump, is he profiting off his crypto? And of course, he tries to deflect. Play that clip.
You're not profiting off of the cryptocurrency?
I haven't even looked.
Has your family?
I'll tell you what, look, if I own stock in something and I do a good job and the stock market goes up, I guess I'm profiting. But who really profits is somebody like Nancy Pelosi, who uses inside information. She worked for $175,000 a year, and that's at the high end, and she's worth $150, $200 million. Okay? You ought to look at Nancy Pelosi, and you ought to look at some of these politicians that are stone cold crooks. I was very wealthy when I came in. Being president, I probably cost me money if you really look.
I mean, as the president, you're supposed to divest yourself of all these so that there isn't at least, even if it's not true, that there's no implication of being involved or running a policy in one specific way to benefit yourself. Meanwhile, Trump is hosting a gala. Yeah, he is. He's hosting a gala because he knows nothing about any of this, right? Nothing. He's hosting a fucking gala for his top meme coin holders early this morning. Trump even posted it on Truth Social. In it, look at this. Trump gala dinner, fight, fight, fight. Trump National, Washington, D.C. GetTrumpMemes.com. I mean, seriously, are you fucking kidding me? And this is what you see when you go to the website. Let me show you. Join President Donald J. Trump. Imagine using the office of the presidency for this at his private members only club in Washington, D.C. for dinner. 220 special, and that's the add-on to it. The $Trump meme coin holders will be invited to an unforgettable gala dinner with the president on May 22nd, 2025. This is really not a joke, my friends, and this is dangerous. It's why I constantly say, subscribe, watch, comment, keep the comments, and share with your friends. And as always, thanks for listening. Hey, everyone. First of all, thanks for watching. I mean, we're going to be posting daily episodes with reactions and talking about politics. We'll be talking about everything, in fact. So please like and subscribe. Join us on this journey.